Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton now. Senator, glad to have you here. So the Senate's obviously, as we're reporting, voted to repeal the Biden federal vaccine mandate for businesses. We know that there were many Republicans making the case that this is just too brutal on businesses that are still trying to recover. But even if the House approves this as well, Senator, we know that this then faces a possible Biden veto. So what do you believe is the fate of this effort?
Sandra, I was pleased that a bipartisan majority in the Senate voted to block Joe Biden's onerous mandate on mid-size and larger businesses. What he should do is take this as a sign, just like some of the polling you cited, that a majority of Americans are what you might call pro-vaccination but anti-mandate. And they certainly don't want to see people losing their jobs over these mandates. As we've seen, for instance, our troops begin to lose their jobs because the Department of Defense is being used as a tool in Joe Biden's campaign to try to restore his political standing. Look, you have young, healthy troops who, for whatever reason, don't want to get this vaccination. Is it really going to help them or help our national security to be discharging them from the military when they're willing to sacrifice their lives?
Just to be clear, that's a very small percentage of the military, right, that you're talking about there?
It is, but it could be thousands of troops. And again, at a time whenever we have very tight labor markets, which make it hard to recruit and retain our troops, and we have thousands of troops who have been willing to put their lives on the line to defend our country. Shouldn't common sense dictate that we should back off these mandates, just like Joe Biden has backed off of them for a lot of unionized federal employees, just like Amtrak has had to do as well, as you reported?
So what do you say to Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, who's slamming your and your Republican colleagues' effort to repeal this mandate by saying some of the anti-vaxxers here in the chamber remind me of what happened 400 years ago when people were clinging to the fact that the sun evolved around the earth. They just didn't believe science. To that you say what?
Well, first off, I don't know why Chuck Schumer would be insulting his own Democratic senators, John Tester and Joe Manchin, who also voted to repeal Joe Biden's unpopular mandate. And second, as most Americans view it, you could be pro-vaccination and anti-mandate, that the federal government shouldn't be, for the first time in our history, imposing these mandates on the American people, nor should people be losing their livelihoods because they have reservations about the vaccination or they already had coronavirus and they therefore have natural immunity. There's many reasons why this one-size-fits-all mandate from Joe Biden doesn't work.
Fair enough. And we have heard from some of those outspoken critics of the mandates that are vaccinated themselves. They choose to. They just don't want it pushed on everyone. The Senate has passed this $778 billion defense policy bill. This is news coming into us this afternoon. The NDAA package. It establishes this commission, and you can expand on this. It's going to investigate the Afghanistan war withdrawal, the war in general, I should say, and the withdrawal. It's going to make changes to the military justice system. What we know about the commission that will be doing this is that it's a 16-member bipartisan group, Senator. They are going to study the U.S. involvement in Afghanistan from 2001 to 2021. They're going to report their progress to Congress annually, and officials involved in the war are barred from serving. We know, obviously, the Pentagon is conducting this post-action review. We know that state and the Defense Department are looking into the withdrawal as well. They're doing their own investigation. So what is the point of this commission? What will the American people ultimately learn about the war in Afghanistan, and particularly the withdrawal?
Well, first, Sandra, I was pleased that the defense bill passed again today for the 61st consecutive year. The Democrats dropped a lot of their radical social engineering proposals, like radically reforming our military justice system on the grounds that it's systemically racist, or trying to draft America's daughters in the military. But this commission in particular is designed to take a broad look at our war in Afghanistan over 20 years. Of course, there's a lot of questions about the end of that war, about why the senior military leaders' advice was disregarded, why the State Department was so slow in processing visas for persons who had legal rights to immigrate out of Afghanistan. We do want to take a full look, though, over 20 years. We had a lot of twists and a lot of wrong turns in the Afghan war, some in the earliest days after the CIA and Army Special Forces, supported by American air power, had helped oppose the Taliban, while we went down the road of trying to create a Western-style democracy in Afghanistan, as opposed to simply working with local Afghans, supporting customs and leaders that were traditional in their society to create a stable government. Maybe it didn't meet the standards of Western democracy, but would have been stable and representative and not been a threat to the United States. These are important questions the American people want answers to, and they can inform our decision making in the future, not only about Afghanistan, but about other threats we face as well.
Making it an incredibly important commission, and the American people will look forward to any feedback that they're able to get from that. Senator, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra.
Now,